Okay, folks, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. We've got a seriously gnarly situation developing across central Canada right now. If you woke up this morning thinking it felt ridiculously cold, you weren't wrong. We're looking at some of the most brutal temperatures this winter has thrown at us. Environment Canada isn't messing around either. They've slapped orange-level extreme cold warnings on 6 massive regions, from the prairies all the way to Labrador. Here's the deal. Winnipeg's sitting at minus 49 with the wind chill. Parts of Saskatchewan have dropped below minus 50, and honestly, those aren't just big scary numbers. At those temps, you've literally got 2 to 5 minutes before frostbite starts setting in on exposed skin, which is absolutely no time at all. So here's what we're going to do. I'm breaking down exactly what's happening in your area, when this mess is going to clear out, and what you got to do to stay safe. Drop your city down in the comments and I'll get you the specific info you need, because this thing's hitting everyone a bit differently. All right, let's start with where this whole thing kicked off. Saskatchewan's getting absolutely hammered right now. Regina and Saskatoon are both stuck in that minus 45 to minus 50 wind chill range, and some spots across the province are even worse than that. The thing about the prairies is there's nothing to stop these Arctic winds. They just barrel straight down from the north with zero obstacles. Now, the good news, and yeah, there actually is some, is that milder air starting to push in this afternoon, so we should see things ease up to around minus 35 by tonight. Still cold as heck, but at least we're getting out of that instant frostbite territory. Manitoba's right there with Saskatchewan. Winnipeg just recorded minus 49 wind chill this morning, which is genuinely one of the worst we've seen all season. The actual temperature hit minus 31.9 at the airport overnight. But throw in those northwesterly winds and boom, you've got conditions that'll freeze your face off in minutes. Thompson, Churchill, all those northern communities are dealing with the same thing. And being that isolated makes it even tougher when weather goes sideways like this. The relief timeline's looking decent though. We're talking gradual improvement through today and tomorrow. Wind chills dropping to the minus 20s by Monday evening. If you're in Brandon, Portage, anywhere across the province really, do yourself a favor and share this with your neighbors, because staying inside is going to be key today. Now heading east into northern Ontario, and this is where the geography starts working against us big time. Thunder Bay, Sudbury, Timmins, they're all seeing wind chills around minus 45, and the distances between these communities are absolutely massive. If you're planning on driving Highway 11 or Highway 17 today, you better have your emergency kit sorted. Blankets, food, water, charged phone, the whole 9 yards. And keep that gas tank topped up, eh? If you get stuck out there, you're going to need that fuel to keep the engine running for heat. This cold's going to stick around through today with some gradual improvement starting Monday, but we're still looking at below normal temps all week. Here's a wild fact for you. The air we're dealing with right now is actually colder than what's on the surface of Mars at the moment. Yeah, you heard that right. Mars is literally warmer than Winnipeg today, which is pretty bonkers when you think about it. Northern Quebec's running about a day or two behind the prairies on this whole thing, so Chibougamau and areas around James Bay are just getting slammed now. Wind chills in the minus 40 to minus 45 range, and that northwesterly flow is just pumping Arctic air straight down from the pole. Val-d'Or, Rouyn-Noranda, Sept-Îles, they're all going to be dealing with dangerous conditions through Monday before things finally start backing off. Then we've got Western Labrador, and honestly, they're going to have it rough for a while yet. Labrador City, Wabush, Churchill Falls. Their warning doesn't even expire until Tuesday, which makes it the longest extreme cold warning anywhere in the country right now. We're talking a full 72 plus hours of this stuff. Wind chills sitting at minus 43 this morning. And because these are mining towns, folks actually need to work outside in this. Companies are doing what they can. Shorter shifts, mandatory warm-up breaks, but man, that's still brutal conditions to be working in. The reason it's lasting so long out there is this atmospheric pattern just won't budge. Keeps that Arctic air locked in place until the flow finally shifts Tuesday evening. All right, now let's talk safety, because this is the stuff that could legitimately save your butt or someone else's. Between minus 40 and minus 47 wind chill, you've got maybe 5 to 10 minutes before frostbite becomes a real problem. Minus 48 to minus 54, that drops to 2 to 5 minutes. And once you hit minus 55 or colder, we're talking less than 2 minutes. Winnipeg and chunks of Saskatchewan are in that 2 to 5 minute window right now, which means you've got basically zero room for error if you're heading outside. Cover everything, and I mean everything. Face, hands, any skin that's exposed needs to be protected with proper winter gear. Layer up with wind-resistant stuff on the outside, and if you absolutely have to be out there, keep it as short as possible and take warm-up breaks. Watch for the warning signs: numbness, skin going white or grayish-yellow, anything that feels weirdly firm or waxy. You see that happening, get inside ASAP and warm up gradually. Don't blast it with direct heat because that'll just make things worse. If you're driving anywhere, make sure you've got the basics in your car: blankets, snacks, water, matches, flashlight. Tell someone where you're heading and when you should be there. And if you do get stranded, stay with the vehicle and run the engine 10 minutes every hour. Quick shout out to some other communities that are getting hit. Prince Albert and Moose Jaw are seeing wind chills near minus 48 with improvement coming this afternoon. Keноra's dealing with minus 42. Sault Ste. Marie's on the edge at minus 30 to minus 35. And Happy Valley Goose Bay is setting at minus 38. If I didn't mention your spot, throw it in the comments and I'll get you updated as more data rolls in. So what's actually causing all this? Basically, we've got this massive high-pressure system parked over central Canada. We're talking over 1,040 millibars. It's acting like a giant pump, just continuously pulling Arctic air down from the north, and the polar vortex has dipped way farther south than usual. Plus, there's this blocking pattern over the Pacific that's stopping any mild air from pushing in and breaking this whole thing up. That's why Labrador is stuck with it until Tuesday. The pattern just won't shift until then. For some context, this is easily in the top 5 most intense Arctic outbreaks we've had in central Canada over the last decade. It's up there with that crazy polar vortex thing from January 2019 and the brutal cold we saw in February 2021. What makes this one stand out is just how many people it's hitting at once. 6 major regions all getting slammed with the same severity. Looking ahead, Saskatchewan and Manitoba should see their warnings lifted by Monday evening, as temps climb to minus 25 to minus 35. Northern Ontario's on a similar track with gradual improvement through Tuesday, and Northern Quebec's running a day behind the prairies. Western Labrador stays under warning until Tuesday evening when that flow finally breaks down and lets things warm up. By Wednesday and Thursday, we're looking at general improvement everywhere with wind chills moderating to minus 20 to minus 30. But heads up, this might not be our last rodeo with extreme cold this winter. Long-range models are hinting at another possible Arctic push in early February. The pattern we're in just seems to favor these periodic blasts of cold, so staying prepared throughout the rest of winter is going to be important. Here's what you need to do right now. Check on your elderly neighbors. Anyone with health issues, basically anyone who might need a hand with heating or supplies. Get your pets inside, watch for signs of hypothermia in people, make sure your heating's working properly. Have your emergency stuff ready: flashlights, batteries, radio, enough food and water for at least 3 days in case the power goes out. If you work outside, have that conversation with your employer about safety protocols, because a lot of companies are already adjusting schedules for this. Schools and businesses need to keep an eye on these warnings too, because travel conditions could force closures over the next few days. Bottom line, these orange warnings are the highest level Environment Canada puts out for extreme cold, and they're not doing it for fun. This is genuinely life-threatening stuff affecting millions of people across 6 regions right now. Stay inside as much as you can, skip any travel that isn't absolutely necessary, and if you do go out, gear up properly because you've got minutes before things get dangerous. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you catch my updates as this situation develops over the next few days. Share this with anyone in the affected areas who might not know how serious this is, because honestly, this info could save someone's life. Check Environment Canada's site regularly for the latest on your specific area. And don't just rely on what you see on social media. Drop your best cold weather survival tips in the comments to help out your fellow Canadians, and tag anyone in affected cities who needs to see this. I'll keep you posted as this Arctic outbreak moves through and conditions start improving across these regions. This affects everyone, kids, elderly folks, everybody in between. So take it seriously, check on vulnerable people, and let's look out for each other. We'll get through this together by staying smart, staying prepared, and keeping an eye on our communities. Stay warm out there, folks. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.